A problem that we have with communications, we don't know how to start it.
Voluntarily start
Yes.
that conversation.
Yeah.
And so to have an individual with an objective perspective guide you that way, then it just like, it releases. It's like taking a deep, like, sigh.
My wife and I did premarital counseling
And that was in the church as well, or outside?
through the church and also outside.
Oh, you had two different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and I believe in continuing therapy just
Okay.
because, like, when it comes to communication in marriage, it's a multi-layered thing. It's not just you expressing what's on your mind and your wife is going to receive it. No,
Right.
it's multi-layered. So the value to me when I would go is to have a person that can be objective and hear my hear what I'm saying
Hear my
without
roar.
any emotions attached to it and just articulate it so that my wife could receive it. Because sometimes ego would change my delivery. Like, you should be understanding what I'm saying. And now I'm having a condescending tone and my wife is completely shut down.
Right.
Yeah.
So if anything, just to open up the lines of communication, that was the value that, the mediator, I would say, was able to provide.
Yeah.
Does it work? I mean, did it?
If I heard him right, he's continuing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
go.
continue.
I
Okay.
think it's not a you go once and then your life is your
Right,
issues are
yeah.
solved. It's a continuing thing. Like marriage, just like anything else, like acting or whatever, you're pursuing.
Keep practicing. You gotta keep
You're
working.
always in classes.
Yeah.
You're always taking new headshots because you're always changing and developing, and you always have to adapt. So I'm not the same man I was when we got married 3.5 years ago. We got a 1.5-year-old now. She's due in 2 weeks with another one. So she's a completely different person, like
Right.
spiritually, physically, and so I have to adapt to now dealing with hormones
Yeah.
when she's pregnant. So now when I say something and she responds, and now we're arguing over an ankle sock, I'm like, whoa, what happened? But I'm not arguing with her. It's the hormones that's now impacting how we communicate. So I got to go back, like, hey,
Yeah.
have somebody else help us hash this out. Help my wife understand, like, no, your husband's not attacking you. He just doesn't adapt as quickly as your hormones are changing.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But if it is the hormones, right? No, that's something psychological, or that's something that's innate. So even if you have therapy, right, and the hormones is attacking her, what can therapy do?
My description of therapy is this: it's a way to actually properly communicate without talking directly to your partner with the heightened sense of anger, with the misinterpretation of what voice you're trying to share.
Got you.
It's someone that's objective. They don't know you. It's like this right here. This is not considered a therapy session, but this is what therapy is. This is all of us talking about our experiences. Everyone's giving a little bit of insight. It's helping us. It's allowing us to take stress off of our shoulders.
Sure.
So when I was in my relationship, we had hit like a real rocky patch, and going to therapy every week, when we would talk about our problems and issues, it would just add another layer of that, because now I feel like I'm being attacked. So then I'm in defense mode. So now I'm attacking her.
Yep.
So now we're just having this bubble's just getting bigger and bigger. But now we talk to someone with an objective perspective that doesn't have any bias. It's not her friends, it's not my friends.
Yep.
This is an individual who's literally just talking to what they see that's in front of them, what you're delivering. Meaning you have to deliver the honest truth. To your friends, you may not do that all the time. But to a complete stranger, if you go into it with an open mind, that person cannot harm you. He has nothing on you, or she has nothing on you. This is a free place to speak openly and free. And once that hour and a half is over, you wipe your hands and you can go to another therapist. You never have to see this person again. But if I had that hour and a half with you, I'm going to see you Saturday at the table. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it allows that freedom, and it allows that outlet to properly communicate with your partner from a different perspective, from an outside perspective that really cannot harm or deviate to lean toward one side versus the other.
I'm going to tell you what would piss you off about therapy, though.
Right.
There'll be something that you've communicated to your wife 1,000 times.
And then it finally
And
was
then it comes from this person and she's like, oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Bruh.
But sometimes it's not the person. Like say if you're in a relationship, any of us,
Right.
or you married or whatever,
Right.
and your significant other says, where you been?
I felt
Automatically, you like,
Why you
you know,
question me?
it's not, you may not respond that way, but automatically you get that energy like, okay, she's questioning me. She whatever I say, she probably won't believe
Right.
what the answer is.
And you create
But
that
but if I
narrative.
say,
Losing regardless.
but if I say,
Losing
where?
regardless.
If I say, where you been?
Yeah.
Oh man, you know, I just, you know, because it's not always the question. It's where the question is coming from. When it comes to therapy, for me, I have an aversion to going to someone who went to school and is getting paid to tell me what I should or should not be doing in whatever situation I'm in. I like to look for something. If I want to be a great mechanic, I'm going to watch a great mechanic.
Right.
So what I've learned to do, having the different varied examples of what a relationship is for the, I come from a large family, so not to put any of my brothers and sisters' business out there, but you know, we had some stuff going on.
Right.
And but what I feel that what I like that I find therapeutic is to find someone who's had more life experience than I have, and who is doing well the thing that I would like to do.
Right.
And so if I go to Mr. Williams, who lives next door, or Miss Johnson, who lives downstairs from my brother, and I see that they have a great relationship. I see the love, and I see the camaraderie, and the cohesion,
Exactly.
and the communication. I'll go say, hey, and just talk to them and say, I'm having problems with my girlfriend. If I'm having problems with a significant other that is my girlfriend or whatever, I'm going to go to a woman and say, hey, you know, what's that about? I'm not going to go to my boy's dad because he don't know.
Right.
He's
Right.
not a woman. But I would go to my boy's mom. Like my friends, you know, after my mother passed away, a couple of my friends' mothers embraced me as their own son.
sorry to hear that, bro.
And they would say, hey, Mama, I got a question. Mama Faye or Mama Eunice. And I'd ask the question, they said, baby, look. And you know when that black mama they put their hands on you, listen, baby. You know you're getting it from a place where it's coming from experience
Yeah.
and
Right.
coming from love,
Authentic.
not an office and a paycheck. To me, that is just for me. So I would prefer to go to someone that I've known for a while who is doing a great job or doing well the thing that I want to do or that I may want to do someday. Because it's one thing that I've learned is that you will never forget good advice. Because one day something's going to happen to you, and that thing that someone said to you years ago,
Comes up. Yeah.
dang, and so it's still in there. You don't forget it. It's just in the recesses of your mind. So for me, going to therapy is more of a personal thing that, and it's not. I have never been to therapy, but it's therapeutic for me to go to someone who is, you know, my elder. If I'm going to learn some life-changing stuff from someone, I would love to have that information come from someone who has more life experience than I do.
Wow.
Right.
Man, I think it's probably, but I haven't done therapy. I'm interested in therapy, but I think it's a little bit of both. Definitely having those folks in your community that have been successful in something that you've done. But I've had a business coach before, and that was therapy. I'm not sure if any of you guys had business coach, acting coaches, or what have you. Like that's therapy. And when someone is, I'm a big proponent of paying someone with a skill. And a talent and an expertise. Like photographer, videographer, what have you, I like to make sure that the right people who have that superpower get paid, and I want to receive that, you know, secret sauce that they have.
Right.
So I am very interested in potentially having just like some type of therapy and just getting things off my chest and just figuring out like, does that feel good? And I think a lot of folks who, especially in like corporate America, your insurance can cover therapy. Or when you're an entrepreneur, you're making good money, you can
afford.
You can
be just like, this is part of my health insurance. You can get the health insurance that have those type of things. And so I think us as you know, people of color, it's something to think about. And like a question I had for you, I guess all three of you guys who have had therapy, what is a session like for people? Like, can you walk us through a session and what it feels like? Because I think it will help us understand.
It may change my mind.
Yeah, well, it'll help us
I doubt
at least.
it.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. Like coming from Oakland, therapy was not a thing that I heard of. Therapy was not a thing that was accepted. You know, and in the black community, like it's if you do therapy, most of the time people won't even tell you. It's like something that they feel is like it's a
taboo,
burden or
right?
it's a negative attribute to you as a
What's wrong with
person.
him?
But to be honest, to go to therapy and to have someone else give you an opinion, or just have someone else listen to you and provide their life experiences, or try to lead you down different paths, or just provide you with tools to alleviate some of the bottled up stress that you have within you, that takes a strong person to do that, because you're becoming vulnerable to a complete stranger, whether it's paid or whether it's not. Being able to be vulnerable in a room one-on-one with someone for an hour, hour and a half, right? And you ask how, like the steps, you literally walk into an office, and my therapist would literally sit down in front of me like this, and he would just stare at me, and if I didn't say anything, 1 or 2 minutes, because I'm still thinking, like, I'm hesitant, like, damn, I don't know what I want to tell him, I don't know about this. He'll look at me and be like, how's the relationship going? And then it's like, oh man, so like
I've been waiting for you to ask.
you know, because sometimes a problem that we have with communications, we don't know how to start it.
Voluntarily start
Yes.
that conversation.
Yeah.
And
you know.
so to have an individual with an objective perspective guide you that way, then it just like it releases. It's like taking a deep like sigh.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, then you just get into a conversation, then your therapist can pick out points where he sees like something is a little bit more heightened than something else. And then they could guide you down this path of things you need to just get off your chest.
Yeah.
You know, and with therapy, I mean, it allowed, you know, I like when you bottle up your stress, it starts with your shoulders. Then it works down your back, then it goes down your lower back. When I started doing therapy, I started alleviating a lot of those things. I thought, you know, I'd go to the chiropractor, start running more. It wasn't helping. Then when I started going to therapy and just like getting these bottled up emotions, these unanswered questions out, or just being able to communicate with someone aside from my friends, a lot of those things start to disappear, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think as men, we have a natural tendency to be guarded. We're not the type that just come out and tell you things
What's
that we're
up?
struggling
Yeah.
with. And so we'll
Black
carry
man.
something for years. But I agree with Tim, and the majority of the I would say therapy sessions I've had have been with people I already have a relationship with. So whether it be my pastor, one of my mentors, they already have an understanding of me, my situation. I already see something in their situation that I aspired to have,
Right.
whether it be a relationship or business success, etc. And so it's just a relief to be able to get things off your chest, because if you don't express it, it can't be healed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you walk around carrying, you know,
A lot of
things
baggage.
a lot of baggage, exactly. And that
It's
can
a heavy
then,
weight, man.
Yeah, and that
Yep.
falls into other areas of your life. It impacts relationships.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
impacts
absolutely.
other business. It impacts everything.